Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Mira. I'm also known as Me and My Journal over on Instagram. So 2025 is the year that I'm going to get back into reading, and I love the idea of keeping track of my reading goals and the books that I've read in a reading journal. And I chose this B6 journal from Leela's journal, and the stunning cover and design is just perfect. I love the squared corners rather than round corners, as I know I'm going to be sticking lots of papers and tapes in, and I thought that it would be easier not to have to cut around the corners every time. So I love the sharp square corners, and I also went for square grid rather than a dot grid. So I often find that when I'm writing on a dot grid, especially when it's quite faint, my writing just goes way out of line and can't keep it straight. So this journal is just amazing. I'm going for a really minimal cover page in the hope that I won't get bored of it throughout the year. And I actually designed that shop front sticker using AI. I keep seeing loads of stuff about using AI and thought I would give it a go. I'm actually going to do another video on the different free AI sites that I used to try and get this image, and let me tell you, it was really interesting. The stuff that AI comes up with when you ask it to create an image, but I'll leave that for another video. The stickers that I made for this journal, I also used my Silhouette Portrait 4, and I do have a video of me unboxing that and a quick sort of tutorial on making stickers, so I will link that in the video description too. The printed text papers that I've used, I think I got those from AliExpress, I'm not 100% sure, I'll see if I can find a link. I liked that they weren't too warm toned, so they matched the colour palette that I'm going for really well. The grid tapes that I'm using throughout the setup are also all from Leela's journal. The next page I'm going to set up is my reading goal. I'm not sure how many books I read last year. I think it was probably only one or two. So I wanted my goal this year to be realistic. I am quite a fast reader though, so when I do pick up a book that I love, I usually finish it within like 2 or 3 days. So I think 25 books is a good goal for this year, which is just over 2 books a month. Obviously, if I manage to read more than that, I will be very happy. This journal arrived on the 6th of February, and I know in January I only read 1 book, but it's the 12th of February, and in the last 12 days I've finished 2 books, so, and I'm on to my 3rd, so February I probably will end up reading maybe 3 or 4 books in total. I think the reason I only read 1 book in January was I just really didn't like it that much. The book I read in January was called Really Good Actually by Monica Heisey. I have no idea if I said that right. And the plot of the book sounded really good. It was about a woman in her, I think she was in her 30s, who got divorced after a relatively short marriage. So I loved the idea of the book, but the main character was rather unlikable some of the time, and I wasn't too keen on the writing style either. The premise of the book sounded really good, but the plot just didn't leave me hooked. I'd read some of it and then would put it down for a week without the need to pick it up again. Glad I did finish it though, as although the middle dragged on and on, I did quite warm to the ending. I also have a thing about having to finish books. I am not good at DNFing a book. I don't know why. I think always just because there's that hope, that optimism that it will get better. And like, what if you miss out? on a really good story because you didn't give it a chance. So yeah, I don't think I've ever not finished a book. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments about DNFing, because I would love to know. The washi that I've used in this spread is of course also from Leela's journal. It's called, I think, White Rose, and it has these really pretty butterflies dotted around too. So I think I'm going for very vintage, very neutral, understated bookish vibes with some hints of pink, which is always my favourite colour to journal with. So I designed these ransom style letter stickers using Canva, and I've actually made a printable available on my Patreon. I will link it in the description below. I share a new printable each month on my Patreon, and members also get a free copy of my ebook Grow Your Instagram for journaling and creative accounts. So if you do share journaling content over on Instagram and you want to get more views and more followers, then definitely check it out. It will be linked in the description below. These boxes took me forever to draw. I sped this up and also didn't actually film all of it as my head was in the way most of the time. I'm just adding some rose stickers to my front cover as well, also Leela's journal. Next, I'm going over some of the lines with a white jelly roll pen to cover up where I've overdrawn. I'm a perfectionist, so anything that's just not quite right, I'm so tempted just to rip the page out and start all over again. So finding out this little trick of using the white gel pen, I absolutely loved. Next, I'm going to fill in the numbers using my letter stamp set. This was something I bought years ago and probably really rarely use it, so I'm loving that this journal is making me revisit supplies that have been untouched for so long. So I've done a little time lapse of me stamping all the numbers. And then, annoyingly, I managed to pick up this number 6 stamp the wrong way. So I cut out a spare page that I'd done some pen tests on to cover the mistake. You can't even tell. So I've just filled in the one book that I read so far in January, and I will post a reading journal update at the end of February with all the books that I read January and February and my book reviews as well. For my reading statistics page, I'm going to keep this quite simple, but I'm going to come back to that and fill it in later because I'm enjoying the decorating far too much. Next up is my TBR. I'm going to use this page to record just the books that I've actually purchased this year, rather than all the books that I want to read. I think I've got books saved on Goodreads and I've got a massive book list saved on Amazon too. And so it just feels sort of like duplication really. So yeah, I'm just going to use this page for the books that I'm actually buying. I guess to keep me accountable that I'm actually reading the books that I'm buying. This sticker sheet that I've just picked up is one of the Books and Lace series stickers from Leela's journals, and of course some more butterflies. So I'm gonna record the name, the author, the publication date, because I think that's quite interesting if I'm buying new releases or if I'm buying older books, and then the red column, I'll tick that off when I've actually read that book. So going back to the stats page now, don't think I'm going to read enough books to warrant doing a separate page for statistics each month, so I'm just going to have the whole year on one page. And on here I'm going to track the number of books read, the pages read, how many books I've bought each month, and how many I've borrowed from the library. I also want to track the genres that I'm reading. In the past I've stuck to contemporary fiction. This year I really want to start reading fantasy. Never read anything like that. I've also never even read a Harry Potter book, but I'm going to start with Fourth Wing because that obviously seems to be quite a viral book and there's so much hype around that series, especially with Onyx Storm having just come out. So gonna give that a try. Don't know if like dragons is really my thing. I do like sort of magical realism like with witches and stuff, but fantasy I really never got into, but I want to try. And the other thing I want to try is reading some classics like Jane Austen, Bronte sisters, and even maybe some Tolstoy. Not sure. In hindsight, I wish I'd used a lighter coloured ink for this stats page grid, as I'm really not loving how it looks. I really struggle with perfectionism and I'm super critical of my creative journaling. So I am going to challenge myself and leave it as it is and not rip the page out. The final spread that I'm working on today is the books read in 2025. And this is just going to be a list of all the books, the authors, the month I read it in, and the star rating. I decided to use the CAWPILE rating system for my star rating. I don't know if you've heard of it, but the CAWPILE rating system was created by a YouTuber called The Book Roast. She has a whole playlist on her channel of the system that she created for herself, and basically CAWPILE stands for character, atmosphere, writing, plot, intrigue, logistics and enjoyment, and you score each of these out of 10 and then divide by 7 to give you an average, and then that equates to your star rating. It's probably a bit of a convoluted way to get to your star rating and completely unnecessary, but I love the way that it's such a rounded way of reviewing books and gives you a really sort of full picture, like considering all the different elements. And I love that Book Roast even has a spreadsheet that she shares to calculate your rating. So I'm decorating this page with more Leela's journal stickers. I love the whimsical clouds. Plus the quote stickers are just perfect. You know, sometimes you buy quote stickers from I don't know, Journal Say or Leblixa, and the quotes on them can be really, really random. But I don't know, these are very sort of poetic. I think she's actually called the sticker sheet, yeah, poetic quotes and phrases. And this window just feels magical, and it's pink and really pretty, so I love that. So that's it for my simple reading journal setup. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. I will be posting monthly journal with me videos, updating the stats, and I plan to create full book review spreads for each of the books that I've read that month. So please do subscribe, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Your support means everything. Please do give it a thumbs up too, and I will see you in the next video.